Okay, I have to confess something. I clickbaited you. Well, technically. If you thought this video was about the real fan bases of HoloEN, then you're wrong. I mean, it makes sense. That would just be a video about who is the most popular. And I think we all know who that is. I mean, a video like this wouldn't really fit on my channel anyways, so that's not what we're doing today. We rather will answer a way more interesting and relevant question. Today, we will find out who would win, a small robot or a nicely dressed alligator. Yeah, in this video we will see which HoloEN chat mascot will win if we threw them in a one-for-all fight. I know, every single one of you is filled with joy right now, because we all have asked ourselves this exact question before. But it wouldn't be a Curzon video without me having some stuff to say before we start with the real thing. First, as far as I could find, there is no official art or description of what exactly a Rosarian is. That is the fanbase of Liz, for those who didn't know. So unfortunately, I can't really include them, which is a shame, because I think they could be really cool. Secondly, I have not found any official art of the IRyStocrats. But as far as I know, they are these stickman guys. At least they look like that in a Counselor's game, so I'll just go with that. Lastly, I could also not find any official art of a Deadbeat, but both in music videos of Kelly and in her art streams, we can see that they are these cool skeleton dudes. So we have no problem there. This is purely based on what they are, so if Kiara, for example, one time mentioned that every KFP is actually able to transform into a phoenix or something, I'm sorry, but I didn't know. Alright, enough talking, let's get this bread. When we put all of them in a giant one-for-all battle, I think the first one to get eliminated is probably the Kronii. Kronies are clogs, so they are not fast, not agile, don't really pack a punch, and are a relatively big target on top of that. I feel like a Ruffian or an investigator, for example, could easily rip it apart. It's also not like clogs are really that durable either. Kronies might actually be the only one that could even be taken out by a Pebble, if it just decided to tackle it really hard. The next one that will be taken out is probably the Otomo, for similar reasons that the Kronii will be out early. Slow, no offense, and also a big target compared to other competitors. Now this of course could change if Otomos are smart, which I don't really know. But look at this guy's face and tell me that it is high IQ. This gamer looks like a flipping ditto. So yeah, I'd say Otomos will be out early. Let's talk about the Tacodachi next, because I'm not too sure how to approach it. For one, it looks like a derpy little ditto as well, so I don't know how the intellect is looking like. It also doesn't look like something that is really fast or agile. The thing that makes me hesitate in putting it low is how it is built. Because the body of a Tacodachi looks like it could take a lot of hits, especially impact hits like punches or kicks. But even if that was the case, I still don't see it competing with everyone else that is still coming up. And the Sapling is honestly in the same boat. It is just a silly little guy that probably will be able to tank a few hits, but when it comes to offense or agility, it's really struggling. But I feel like it could at least roll around a bit better and maybe avoid some sort of attacks with that. But the Sapling still gets eliminated early in the competition. The next two that will probably fall are the small guys, ergo the Grems and the Brats. Both of them, due to their small body and high speed and agility, are most likely able to avoid any other confrontation. At least until everyone we have talked about so far are out. And I personally don't think they would get caught super easily, but they just don't have the means to do a ton of damage to anyone else. Unless Grems also have the electricity powers. That would be a completely different conversation then. Now let's talk about the birds, KFP, Jailbirds and Hoomans. The first one that's gonna be out of them is most likely gonna be KFP, since chickens are not that great when it comes to flight. So it is by far the easiest target of those three. After that I'm gonna say the Jailbird. It is just a raven, so a normal bird with not too much special about them. But as you can imagine, being able to fly gives them such a huge advantage to everyone else on here. Finally, the Hoomans, who I will say will be the last one out of these birds. Since owls are known to be quite smart, and that is definitely a factor when it comes to such an all-out one-for-all battle like this. The next two I want to talk about are the Chattino and the Ruffian, both mammals. that I feel like the birds can't really take out. The birds can probably annoy them, but with the Ruffians being straight up dogs and Chattino being probably some sort of cat, I'm not too sure what that's supposed to be, I don't see them really getting picked off. I definitely see the Ruffians and the Chattino as the ones that cause the most havoc, running around and taking out the weaker contestants. One gamer they probably can't take out though is the Pebble, for obvious reasons. I honestly don't know where to put the Pebble because I'm not even sure if the Pebble can even move. But one thing is for sure, no one we have talked about so far can do anything to a Pebble. Maybe the Hoomans if they grab them and maybe drop them on something. But even then, I don't know what they would have to drop them on to really break a Pebble. That's why I'm kind of forced to put the Pebble so high up. Now who fits right in here in my opinion is the IRyStocrat. This might be the hardest one to rank to be honest, cause they're just stickmans. Now what I'm gonna do is to make an assumption that is most likely wrong, but I wanna rank them too, so I have to give them some sort of power. I've decided to make the IRyStocrats as strong as a human, since stickmen are just people too, which means they for sure are able to beat a dog and a cat, but they will struggle against everyone else coming up next. Next up we have two big fellers. The Chumbuds and the Investigators. These two for sure are able to beat the Ruffian and the Chattino, with both of them being bigger, stronger, and with better tools. Depending on how big a Chumbud really is, I would probably give it the edge. Because in reality, the shark is definitely winning this. But if a Chumbud is like a little mascot shark, which might very well be the case, I see the Investigator having a good shot to win. Especially considering they easily have the Chumbud beaten when it comes to intellect. That leaves us with the Deadbeat and the Novelite, which both are probably way above everyone else so far, since both of them most likely have otherworldly powers. The Deadbeat is most definitely not able to die by just normal means, since it's already dead. So it's safe to say that a dog bite or a pebble ramming into it can't really harm it. The Novelite on the other hand looks like it's some sort of boss from a video game. It honestly kinda reminds me of Marshadow. It's hard to tell which one of these would win, but I'll give it to the Novelite, since I don't think it's not too unlikely that it's able to use some sort of magic that actually is able to hurt a Deadbeat. They at least look like they could. Alright, that's the video. I know this video doesn't really make any sense, but I thought it would be a fun idea. With that being said, have a nice rest of your day. See ya.